NHL Best Bets for Wednesday, February 26th. Welcome, guys, to PuckTime on WagerTalk TV. Andrew, Carmine, Bryan, Buster, looking forward to a great show. Hope you guys enjoyed the return to play of the NHL Wednesday night. Some pretty good games, some low scoring, some high scoring as well. A handful of teams on back-to-backs tonight, so we'll probably dive into those as well. We did cash some prop picks yesterday. We did not hit the same game parlay. We'll be back today with more, but it is an 18-7 hockey run, 3-1 yesterday. The return to play for me, so I was excited about it, and absolutely robbed of a 4-0 day because you know what? There were 26 minutes to go in the game when it was 4-0, and I couldn't get two more goals. Carm, you and I always talk about the dreaded 4-1 lead. 4-1 lead is always tough when you have an over. Carm, we had a good day yesterday, but it's a massive slate today, man. How are you?
I am, I'm sick, man. I ain't going to try and make it through the show, guys. Look a little crooked there. I ain't going to try and make it through the show without throwing up today. I'm fighting a stomach bug. Did all for the last 2 days. I slept on the couch yesterday while trying to watch NHL, Andrew. But 1-1 with NHL, pod play wins as well too. The days didn't start as well, though. I had a big play on PSG in Champions League. 2-1 lead for them. They needed one more to get us there. Up a man after a red card, and the Parisians, those damn bagel eating, whatever that stuff they do is wine drinking, French bread eating. French team couldn't get it done for us. But with that said, Andrew, I'm pretty happy. We got Don Buster here. He's going to talk about Tampa Bay and Carolina. Bryan Leonard, he is going to talk about Columbus and Boston. And we're going to keep him around. Hopefully he doesn't know this, to talk about Detroit and Ottawa, because I'm not sure how much of this show I can last through. And then we're going to talk about Minnesota, Colorado, a same game parlay for you, another pod play, a plus money pod play as we look to increase the bankrolls. And with that said, we're going to close it off and then go, Andrew. Those 4-1 games are the worst. People don't believe me, Andrew. We talk about it, and we've talked about it, and I've talked to my friends. Over 5.5 or over 6 when a game is 4-1 at the end of the second period, you think you're coasting, but the dynamics of the game changes in the sense of you can eliminate those empty net goals towards the end. The only way you're going to get them is if it is a 4-2 game, and then you get some empty net time. But I've seen a lot of 4-1 games stay under the total, and that's why live betting sometimes is a good thing as well too. If I see a 4-1 score line and I see a total of 6.5, I'm going to live bet the under on those ones. So with that said, Andrew, what is your biggest surprise of the NHL last night? Was it the 11 goals scored in Anaheim with the Ducks? The Ducks, I said it, the Ducks, Andrew, winning that game 6-5 over the Edmonton Oilers. The Ducks.
I mean, the Oilers having goaltender problems, Carm. Who saw that coming, right? Who is surprised? I'll say yesterday, I thought one of the weirdest games of the day was going to be the Vegas game. And I leaned towards Vegas. I was almost falling over because I was leaning so much on the Vegas side, but I couldn't get there with it. But I did take the over. So I am still going to say I'm a bit surprised with how much they were able to do without their top players. And I think it goes to show just how good Bryan Leonard's Vegas Golden Knights are, because you know what? You've got no Mark Stone, no Jack Eichel, no Mitch Marner, no Noah Hannafin, and you still put up 6 goals against the LA Kings. So if you're the LA Kings and you let 6 goals in from Vegas and they don't have their top 3 forwards, that's not really a good look. And how about that Dorofeyev player? That guy scores every game. He got 2 goals again last night, so he was fantastic. I mean, we could talk all day about the Oilers goaltending. Just looking at the rest of the games, I would just say that Buffalo-New Jersey game, Buffalo really locking things down defensively. They're already playing well offensively, Carm. If your Sabres can play well defensively, watch out.
Dude, I loved the way the Sabres played yesterday. Unfortunately, like I went 1-1. So I won with the Washington Capitals, who I thought are going to make a run into the playoffs. But I'll give Philly credit. Philly came out like gangbusters. I think they outshot them 7-1 to start the game. And then the Capitals just kind of took over and eventually won that game. So I was pretty happy about that. The Caps are anything but done right now. So they're going to make a run, and they're a team you're probably going to want to look at because you're going to get some favorable odds on them as well too. And by favorable, I don't mean you're going to be getting them at plus money, but there's going to be some times where you're only leaning minus 120 to minus 140 on them, and it's not a bad way to go as far as that team is. They're a very good team last year, and I think they possess the ability to make a run at it this year. There's a lot of teams that are going to fall off. And, we saw the Leafs yesterday against Tampa Bay again. Another loss for them. They play in Florida tonight. So we shall see. There's teams I'm going to fade. Vancouver being another one, but they lose to Winnipeg in overtime. Andrew, the Sabres, they picked up right where they left off. And I love what they did before the game. Jack Hughes, the New Jersey Devils, honor him. But what does he do? He skates over to the Buffalo bench and brings Tage Thompson with him to the middle of the ice so both of them can get the accolades from the fans. See, those are the things I like to see, man. Not this trolling crap. This two players playing on opposite teams, getting out there and celebrating something together. And then when the puck drops, you go out there and you try and smash the other guy's face in. That is what makes the NHL what it is, man. But with that said, Andrew, we got to get this show underway. Let's bring in none other than, and this guy's a huge Sabres fan, Don Buster. This is a guy that I'm glad he's on the show, which means he's survived what has been going on in Mexico. Actually, there's some footage. Brian Leonard said he saw some footage of Buster either looting a store or tossing some Molotov cocktails at one. We haven't decided which one it is yet. But Buster, how you doing? Can't hear you.
Muted, Buster.
You're muted, Buster.
He's muted. I feel for him because that happens to the best of us. That happens to the best
He lost
of us.
his voice yelling at the cartel. Okay,
there we
let's
go.
bring him back.
We see that smile now. There he is. There he is.
Because I was coughing while I was waiting in the back. So I thought, and I remember somebody from head office saying, mute yourself if you're going to be coughing because you can hear it all the way through the video. So that's what I was doing. And Carmine kind of surprised me bringing it on because it's only 6 minutes into the show and he's already got me on. Usually, you guys are talking for about 13, 14 minutes and then I finally get to come on. So I was a little shocked at being brought on so quick. But yeah, Carmine, and guys, we're about 2,500 miles away and about 4,000 kilometers. So that's for the Canadians and the Americans. And but yeah, it's sad to see what's going on over there. I have lots of friends in Puerto Vallarta. I believe there's a few guys in the chat, actually, guys, that actually go down there. I don't know if they're Canadians or Americans, that actually stay in Puerto Vallarta for 2 or 3 months at a time as well. So hopefully they've been safe there. That's for sure. But I think things are starting to settle down over there. We would never know us here. I mean, it's just the only problem with this, and it's actually selfish. The only problem now is that now all the Canadians and Americans will come to our area and not go over there. Like there'll be more people coming here. And we have had an abundance of people. Like I have never seen so many Canadians and Americans here this year out of the 12 years I've been here. It's unbelievable. So
it makes sense. It makes sense. Getting back to the hockey here, Buster. Let's jump into
the Tampa Bay
Lightning, Carolina Hurricanes here. How do you approach it with one team with a game under their belt, one team without a game under their belt so far? Second game of return to play. Obviously, Tampa, we're big favorites against the Maple Leafs. The three of us love watching the Maple Leafs lose.
Yeah.
How do you think Tampa will do tonight?
Yeah, Andrew, you're right. We do like that. again, it is a very interesting spot because it's not just like a back-to-back like normal. It's a back, for these clubs because they had been off all this time. So you kind of wonder, if they've got the rust off after that first game, or is it too much too quick too, right? You know what I mean? So it's something to look at this week for sure when these situations come up. We actually have 8 teams tonight that play a back-to-back. And like I say, we talk about this all the time. I'm sure Brian Leonard and you guys will be talking about it more throughout the show. And it just depends on how you feel about it, whether you think knocking off that rust will be good for their second game, even though they're playing less than 24 hours later, or you believe that team that hasn't played for so long will be just chomping at the bit to get going. So very tough handicap when you're doing these. And I, of course, picked the game that has this involved. Tampa Bay, as you had said, Andrew, played Toronto last night, and now 24 hours later, they're in Carolina. And they had a tough game, I guess, last night. It was they still won, but anytime you play those two clubs, you get a tough game. But this Tampa Bay team, Carmine was mentioning how Buffalo just keeps going. This Tampa Bay game's in the same boat. They just don't miss a beat. They're 9-1 their last 10, 21-2. 21-2 in their last 23 games. That's just incredible stuff. And in saying that, I kind of like Carolina tonight. And there's a reason, a couple of reasons maybe, because maybe the back-to-back, and I really think a team like Carolina, who I believe is going to have a great part of this last 20 games or whatever, 22 games they play. As I said, it's not like a halfway point like a lot of people say. No. It's about a third way in. So, I think Carolina's going to have a great rest of these games until the break. Carolina did come into this after the break. They are 8-2, and they're 8-1 at home in their last 9 games. And I also believe what's really key, I think it's going to help Carolina tonight. Johansson is going to be in net, and I know he has played a little bit better of late, but he plays, and with no Vasilevsky, that's huge. And if you want to look at it too with the Johansson, you say, well, he's been playing good the last few while. He has not been in the net since January 24th. That's a long time. That's a lot of rust. I think that's a big advantage for Carolina, especially being at home. And if you want to go one more little thing, which maybe not is a big thing in the handicap this day and age, but Carolina do have some in-season revenge. They lost 6-4 against Tampa Bay this year, the only game that they played. They have 2 more. They were up 3-0 in that game after the first period and lost it. And some of the guys might remember that. So I do like the Hurricanes here. I think they'll have a great finish to the season. I don't blame anybody else if they want to bet Carolina for the first period as well, because even though the rust is off for Tampa Bay, getting that back-to-back, that first period might be even a better play than Carolina themselves. You might want to check out what the odds on both of those are. So also, I'll just quickly, guys, I'll just give you a little bit on the total. Basically, the totals are kind of a wash. Tampa Bay are 5-5 in their last 10. Carolina 5-5 in their last 10. That last game did go over, ended up being 6-4. But when it's said and done, I think they're 7-3 to the under the last 10. Yeah, I don't want any part of the total. I do like Carolina. First period, maybe Carolina full game. Might make it play on both those small. I'm not sure. But definitely I like Carolina tonight.
And if you look at like goaltending goes, man, Andrew, I just look like my house is
it's an earthquake. It's an earthquake.
There's an earthquake happening. Brandon Bushy likely to start for Carolina in this one, and he is 15-1 at home this season. Only 1 loss. Goals against average of 2.17. Against the Atlantic, 6-1-1 in 8 starts, 261 goals against average. And he finished February, and I'm going to say he finished February, or he started February before the break going a perfect 3-0 with a 165 goals against average. So and a shutout mixed in between. So you definitely have the goaltending advantage, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that definitely hammers one more nail in my thought process to take Carolina tonight. That's a great stat as well. And I actually like this kid too. He might have to be the savior for this team because I really don't trust Anderson. I'm not sure about you guys, but geez, yeah, he might be the savior if he keeps playing that well.
I'll tell you, I was completely shocked with the contract that he signed. Like, what an absolute bargain bin deal. Like, this guy signed for like close to $1 million, like almost like maybe 1.34, I think it was, for a couple years. It's almost like he's saying, okay, hey, look, I'm going to give you guys a deal because you took a shot on me. And then, when I prove myself again and again and again, my next contract's going to be a lot bigger, because I was shocked. I think the rest of the hockey community was shocked, and you guys are both right. This is the guy that is the real deal. The funny thing is, it's really been scoring that's actually hurt them in the playoff. Or sorry, it's really been defense that's hurt them in the playoffs and goaltending, because in the playoffs, they've actually had some games where they've put up 3 or 4 goals and still lost. So they need a goalie buster. They really, really do. So what's new and exciting for you right now? I know March Madness right around the corner. We got a massive hockey slate. What's going on with you right now? The Cognizant Classic, are you involved in that right now?
I am. I put out a few plays for my all access clients. I'll only be putting out packages on the majors. The 4 majors are actually the 5th major too. I will be putting out a package for those. But Andrew, you're right. And just a little back up on what you said. There's a lot of teams that need some goaltending going into this, so it'll be interesting to see who gets some goaltending or not. So, but over at the site tonight, guys, I have a 5% play up in college basketball. We're having a nice little run there in college basketball. We won our last 5% play, and we're on a solid 82% run, 9-2-1, our last 12 plays. So you can go over to the site to pick that up. And remember, we still have that $10 $10. I'm going to get in trouble again. 10-day all access pass for only $99. 10-day all access pass for only $99. Before the break, I think I mispronounced the price of that, so I just wanted to make that clear. $99, and that includes all 5% plays. So you might want to grab that deal instead, with me having a 5% up tonight. And gives us all your college basketball. I'll give you the golf plays I put out from week to week for the 10 days. So that's a great deal as well. So head on over to Don Buster at the site and check that out. And as always, boys, I appreciate you having me on. I'm glad to get back to NHL hockey. And hopefully we'll all have a big season.
We're back in routine.
It's great. Yes, we're back in routine. Good to see you back. Great to know that you are safe and sound down there in Mexico. And it sounds like things are starting to normalize, hopefully, because the World Cup is supposed to be played in Mexico as well, too.
Yeah,
if they want to take away from the Mexicans and send some of those games north of the border, I'm sure Toronto would love to host a few more of those games as well, too. So
for sure they would. Yeah, exactly.
Buster, wishing you the best of luck, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck with your play tonight, and definitely head over and take advantage of that deal that Buster mentioned as well, too, and get multiple days of plays from him.
Go Habs,
best
Buster.
Of luck.
Go Habs.
Go Habs. Best of luck, everybody.
All right, guys. Don Buster, WagerTalk.com. 5% college basketball for Buster tonight. Look, we are all here on PuckTime. We all talk hockey, but we all do other sports as well, right? And whether it be basketball, whether it be golf, whether it be soccer, no matter what it is, guys, if we're putting it out as a client play, as a best bet, that means it means enough to us to be a premium play. You guys can check that out, WagerTalk.com. We all love talking hockey, but hey, we all cash tickets and other sports as well. And I'm gonna have a package up for you guys soon for MLB and NHL. And maybe I'll let Brian Leonard, bring me on one of his MLB shows since he comes on hockey with us every week. Because, I feel like that's only fair, Brian. If you're coming on hockey, maybe I can get some MLB time as well.
The only way, Bri, that you can allow Andrew on that show is he has to one up Tokyo Brandon on the attire that he wears on the show. There is no one more pimp daddy than Tokyo Brandon. God bless the man. I love him, and I love hanging out with him when he makes the trip from Japan to normally he goes Japan to Arizona to Vegas, and he hanging out with the guy is such a great time. I took him to see a Golden Knights game the last time we were there. I think you were there, Bri.
I was there. Yeah, yes. He's a character, and I'm not in charge of who we bring on the show, so that's out of my pay grade. But I would love to have you on there, Andrew, and we could talk some baseball. I tried to talk, Marco and Ralph Michaels and some other guys to do it, but I get outvoted. And there's sometimes people would like to take a little bit of vacation, and we've been going with two people at that time. So we'll see what happens. But I'd love to have you on there. But it was nice to have Buster on the show. I feel terrible for what's going down in Mexico. I've got a friend actually in that town. He's stuck in his condo. But tough things going on. But hey, let's talk some hockey. And it was a very interesting day yesterday. I know you talked about the Vegas Golden Knights. That was a surprise to me as well as they played. But keep in mind, there's only 34 total shots on goal in that game, and they had 10 goals. You don't see that very often. So I think that might have been just more bad defense, more bad goaltending in that game as opposed to Vegas, because they were very simple in what they did. They didn't the problem I have with the Golden Knights is a lot of times they have that extra pass. The team last night did not have that extra pass, and it worked out well. So hopefully the veterans, when they get back, they'll change it a little bit. But yeah, it was a great day of hockey, but there's a lot of uncertainty. I ended up passing yesterday on yesterday's card because of that. And I will be putting my plays up later on today because of that, because I want to make sure who's in goal, who's not. My play on the show today, Swayman was supposed to be in goal. He is not. So there's a lot of changes. What we talk about now may not be going on later on in the day. So everybody keep that in mind.
All right. And you chose one of the most exciting games of the night to break down today. The Boston Bruins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. I love it. The Bruins -118, Columbus -102. Total sits here at 6.5. How are you breaking this down, Brian?
You want me to come on and start doing some IHL games or something? Every time I get on here, you complain about the significance. Hey, money pays regardless of what game it is. That's all there is to it. Columbus and Boston. We kind of talked about this with Ralph Michaels last time I was on here, and we were talking about how teams do after the break and a whole bit, and we thought it was going to be some higher scoring games. For the most part, they were more lower scoring. But one of the things that we had talked about was how these teams do coming out, and it'll be interesting how it goes here. Columbus and Boston. Columbus was a team. Ralph talked about teams on 3 games with higher winning streaks against teams with 3 games or more losing streaks. Didn't quite work out as well yesterday as Edmonton couldn't hold on there, and that was a major play for a lot of people. But Columbus has won, I believe, 7 straight and 11-12. They are the last team in the NHL that wanted to have the break coming up. They're trailing these Bruins by 4 points in the standings, but the last time Columbus played was on February 4th. And so that red hot streak is all in the rearview mirror now. You take a look at what they've done on the road. Decent on the road this year. 14-2-3. So a slight losing record, but I'm sure they made money for their backers because of that, because they are normally an underdog. But if you compare the two teams so far this year, Boston's got a +11 net goal advantage on the year compared to Columbus. And they're also excellent at home. They've got a 21-8-1 mark there's 3 teams with 21 victories at home this year: Boston, Colorado, and Carolina. Now, Colorado and Carolina, you could see that coming. They're 2 of the best teams in the league, especially in the regular season. Carolina has been terrific in the regular season. But this Boston team is very good at home, and they have this team playing home today against Columbus. I think Columbus is being graded a little bit on how they finished the first half before the break. And Boston's a team that, if you take a look at the season today, Boston's a better team. Boston's higher in the playoff situation. They got that 4-point lead over Columbus, and they're playing at home. And as I just said, one of the best home advantages in the NHL. I like Boston here. It's a cheap number. Given to clients at -115. I put them up as it dropped by the time I put it up as a free play, -114. But throw away everything Columbus has done going into the break. I know since the coaching change, they played better hockey, no doubt about it. But I think Boston playing at home, this is kind of a gift line. I would expect this line to probably close 130. I don't think it's going to get there, so we've got plenty of time to get on in this game.
Bryan, when you look at this game, I think that you talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets playing well with Bones taking over as the coach and going into the break themselves. But with this Boston Bruins team, I saw it was a big discussion overall conceptually here at the break during the Olympics. A lot of hockey handicappers tweeting out the -130 was the price on the no for them to miss the postseason. I get what you're saying, but many people still do believe shooting percentage, certain players probably overachieving expectations. Is this an individual game thought for you, or are you high on the Bruins and you think they can maintain what they were doing?
No, it's more of an individual game thought. I understand the Boston situation. Everybody in the East is so tight. Other than the Rangers, just about everybody else is still in it. So it could change, just like it has been all season. Boston opened the season along with Pittsburgh and a few others that were really surprising some people. And they haven't played as good as LA, haven't played as well as LA, but going into the break, they actually were performing very well. So they had their win streak, they had their losing streak. Now I think we could see what Boston is. They're just as good as any of these other teams there. But as to taking a look at the playoff, that's a fair line. There's some really good teams sitting behind them right now.
Brian, when you look at this, this Columbus team, does it, and you look at this line, and it's a lot shorter, and you wonder about it, but does the fact that prior to the Olympic break, Columbus went on an 11-1 run?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they only lost one game. I think it was 4-1. I can't remember who it was to, but an 11-1 run. They made that coaching change. They continue to make money. With it, Andrew was playing the new, the old Dave Koken, new Andrew McInnis. Play the coach until they lose a couple in a row, and they still have yet to lose those couple in a row. If our man was looking down at us right now, Dave Koken, would he be saying to us, "God bless him, the GOAT"? Would he be saying to us, "Keep playing Columbus"?
I don't think so. I think he's smart enough to realize the last time Columbus played was 22 days ago. So yeah, if you're anytime you have that winning streak or losing streak, and we talked about it when I was on the Tuesday show. It's all wiped out. It's all brand new right now, and you can't expect that. And a lot of people do, which is why this line is where it is. Yeah. And I think that's just the wrong way to take a look at it. Columbus has been very good, no doubt about it. But coming into the season with the personnel they had, do you really think they should be one of the main teams in the playoffs? I don't know. I still think they're a team that's a fringe playoff team. They may end up passing up Boston before it's all over. But by that time, we would be getting different lines. And right now, to get this Boston team as good as they've been at home, and traditionally, I know I wasn't last year they weren't good at all, but traditionally, this is one of the strongest home ice advantages in the NHL. And from what I've read out of Boston, they're excited to get the second half started. So I like it. And Buster was talking about a little bit in his game about teams that have had that game under their belt as opposed to a team playing their first game. I know these teams have practiced a lot. Columbus has said they've had 6 to 8 practices with the players coming into this, but it's different when you're playing practice game. When you're in practice, you don't have that intensity that you do in the regular games. So it's a long time off for both these teams, but I like the Boston side here.
All right. Bryan, we got a great deal that you have going on, but Andrew, before we get there, we got to keep Bryan along for one more game. Bryan, you good with staying one more game? Because I got a message from our human resources in Detroit, and they want to see what your take is on the Red Wings game tonight before we find out whether they get rid of this promo for you or not. So no pressure whatsoever.
Detroit wins in a blowout.
No pressure whatsoever. The Ottawa Senators, I'm going to let you two guys break this one down. The Ottawa Senators, because I'm running low on energy, are minus 153 on Ottawa, plus 126 on Detroit. The total sits here at 6. I'll go to you, Bryan, first. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, you've got two teams playing their first game since the break. From a standpoint of what's happened so far this season, Detroit has a better record, but Ottawa's got the better goal differential. Ottawa, I think, is a slightly better team, but if I'm playing this one, I think I'm on Detroit. You can get upwards of 136 out there. I'm seeing a 139. It places far away, but you've got some of the DraftKings, FanDuel, some of the local places in the States giving you some pretty good lines here on the underdog. And that's the way I would look at this. I have these two teams matched pretty even. And the home for Ottawa, I believe Ottawa's got a losing home record. I think they're 14-15 overall at home. I like the Ottawa team slightly better. So maybe Ottawa should be maybe a 125 favorite here. I'm not buying this 150. If I can get that 130, 135, even better for Detroit, that's the way I would lean in this one.
Bryan, I find this game, this game to me depends on how much we handicap prior to the break. When I look prior to the break at both of these teams individually here, you actually have some positive things to say about the Ottawa Senators defensively. And I can't remember the last time I was able to be on PuckTime and say, hey, look, right now, some of my metrics have this Ottawa Senators team as a good defensive team. It hasn't really been something I've been able to say for a while now. And here's one thing as well to mention. John Gibson, for this Detroit Red Wings team, we ask ourselves, what are we going to get from him? This guy is two different types of goaltenders. He really is. Like, you could get the John Gibson that's going to win you a hockey game. You can get the John Gibson that's an absolute rebound machine. So it's hard to really know what we're going to find from him. I'm going to go out, even though I have been saying that we could see some totals go over with the break and defense and offense catching up. I'm going to decide to ride with the fact that I think we could see Allmark show up. We could see Gibson show up. I think this could be a defensive battle here. I think and one thing I talked about when I was on the show with you and Ralph and Carm, and you, I believe, mentioned this, so I'll give you your credit as well, was the interdivisional games versus the out of division or out of conference games. So we'll see. I mean, there's so much talent out there. There's a prop play I'm actually going to mention in a little while here that I do like on Detroit. It's plus money, but I kind of like the under 6 here, Bryan. It's difficult for me because some of these websites I've been using lately, I absolutely love the information I get from them. But of course, the information that we're feeding from right now is from, as you stated, 22 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. You have to, for anybody who has big plays at this time, that's great for you. I just have a hard time until we figure out who's going to play, what's going on. It's like last night in that Vegas game. I know you said you almost pulled the trigger on Vegas. I would not wanted Vegas. Five of their all-stars for the Olympics didn't play. That was a major surprise to me. I watched that game and I couldn't believe how well they played. But they got that victory they needed, and it tells me what do I know? I mean, to me, when I talked about their next 5 games or whatever, 4 of them are against the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But I know that when they get to Washington next game, they've already said that Logan Thompson's playing, and he's got to he's got a bone to pick with Vegas, even though he's faced him a couple of times. But yeah, congratulations to what he's done. But yeah, keep in mind, once again, on these teams playing the second of a back-to-back, I think it's not that disadvantage that we see in the normal ebb and flow of a regular season.
For sure. And I do think, Brian, like when you look at that Vegas game, it was going to be mostly for me just like contrarian, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, like there's no chance this team could win. They're missing their starting quarterback, you know, and then it's like you see them end up doing it. So I know that the whole ticket count and all that stuff doesn't really make as much sense when it comes to money line sports as it does with spread sports. But when you see everybody on Twitter locking in the LA Kings, like, you know, what do you always say, Carm? What's the who do the Harlem Globetrotters play? What's the team that they play?
The Washington Generals.
Yeah, the Washington Generals.
They're due. They are due. But dude, this is how old I am. I used to go to the old Maple Leaf Gardens and watch the Harlem Globetrotters when they came to town and played. They put on their show and they played the Washington Generals. It was a fun time. You know what I mean? It's like NBA, and the guy brings out a ladder.
It's the easiest ticket I ever cashed.
Yeah, and the guy brings out a ladder and slam dunks. That's what the NBA needs now. Not the LeBron flops. They bring out a ladder and let a 5-point, a 5'2" guy dunk the ball.
Look at this comment.
Those are the days.
He always says that because what are you, 6'4", Andrew? Yeah, we'll never see the net that close.
Been losing money on the Generals at plus money for decades now.
They're due. They
are due. The due factor.
Keep trying.
There are three things that do not make sense in when people gamble: is the due factor, the zigzag theory, for the most part in the NHL, and then what was the other? There's a third one. I can't remember what the third one is. My mind is not there. But the must win. Give me a team that must win, and I will play against them and win more times than not.
If they're in a must-win situation, they must not be very good.
They put themselves.
Do we all remember the Pittsburgh Penguins? I think was it last year, or the year before? We're in a must-win situation at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks at plus 300 beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yes, it does not work. That does not work. Bryan, you have a phenomenal deal. Andrew is going to take care of all the logistics on this one. Tell us about this deal and what you have up at WagerTalk.
Yeah, as for what I have up on WagerTalk, as I said, I'm going to wait a little bit longer today to put anything up just to make sure I know who's playing, who's not. Profitable day again yesterday. We didn't have any hockey, but we did have an NBA play, a nice winner there. We got this great special going. Number one in the history of WagerTalk in net profit in the NHL and Major League Baseball. And I don't really do spring training, although I may throw in a couple small plays when lines get out of hand, that kind of thing. But this is a great deal. We've got this special going on until the end of the month. And keep in mind, the end of the month is only 2 days away. It's February, shortest month of the year. And of course, that tells them what they're giving me. They give me the shortest month of the year to promote myself on this. But no, in all seriousness, if you're looking for somebody for baseball, I've been doing this for 45 years. Baseball is my number one sport. I love baseball. I love hockey. And the reason why we've had so much success is I play a lot of underdogs. And you've got to hold your nose and play some ugly dogs sometimes, but the profit is there. We're all looking for net profit. We got this special going on right now. You get my entire baseball season and the rest of the NHL, including all the playoff games, all the way through the Stanley Cup Finals. You get it all right now at this discounted price. Saves you a lot of money. Get in on it now because just a few more days, it's going to be gone, and they're going to raise that price. So you want to get the lowest prices as possible. And I've been working on baseball for the last 2 months, and you know how I've done in hockey over the years. So it's a great deal. If you're looking for the long term, this is definitely the way to do it.
All right. 100%. We wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to baseball season as well, too, man. It's just north of the border here. I'm hyped. I'm always hyped about baseball season. It was a
I'll tell
fantastic
you why,
run.
Carm.
It was a fantastic run by the Jays last year. They're not going to replicate it this season,
Yeah.
Andrew. They're just not. It was I'm not going to say a one and done. I expect them to make a run and hopefully get into the playoffs and make some moves. But it was fantastic to watch. As a fan, all you can ask for is other than a championship is exactly what happened, which is watching your team make it to a championship and make it to 7 games, and then
just get into the playoffs, and you got a chance. That's all that matters. Just get to the playoffs, and
this is why the Buffalo Sabres are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, because other than the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Sabres are the second hottest team since December 15th, Andrew. On December 15th, they fired their general manager. They made 0 moves and they went on a run. And people are like, so whose team is it? I think when they got rid of the GM, I'm just going to go off on a tangent, Brian, and we're going to come back to you. The team was galvanized in the sense of, okay, this new guy coming in, he's a proven GM and he's not moving anybody out. Let's prove that we can win some games. And for some reason, they seem to put it together. Is Columbus an any better or different team than they were before they fired the coach and won 11 of 12 games? It's such a weird dynamic that happens in sport with a changing of a coach or a changing of a GM. It's not always the trade. It is what goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I mean, it's your friend Momentum, Carm. Great first name, great last name. I think really plays a huge part for these athletes. People don't realize, like, we're going to see some teams that are going to go on a run after the Olympic break. It's going to happen. And we're going to see some teams rested, some players rested. And it's up to us to pick our teams that we think are going to play well. But Brian, before we send you off, I was going to say, like, obviously I was in Vegas in December one time. And I was supposed to be there September for a concert, and it got switched to December. And it was complete rookie move on my part, because I did not realize how cold it was. It was actually colder in Vegas for one night than it was where I live in the East Coast of Canada, which was crazy. But one of the big reasons why I look forward to baseball season so much is you can just feel it in the air. Like that for me here on the East Coast, like it's almost like it's like every sport has obviously their season. So I can just it's like opening day always has that feeling like maybe I can go outside today with just a hoodie on or a sweatshirt or something. That's one of the reasons I look forward to baseball season. And then, playoff baseball season's getting here is when you kind of have that fall vibe to it.
Right. Yeah. One of the reasons I moved to Vegas is because of the weather. And we're going to get, they're saying this could be the earliest time we've ever had 80 degrees in Vegas today. It's supposed to get up to 80 degrees. And I feel the same way about spring and baseball, which is why I love going to spring training. It's in warm places. I know you guys are in Canada. You know it more than I do. Having the sun out just changes your entire perspective. And so, I'm always so excited when baseball comes. And a lot of it is because the warm weather. And I used to live in Cleveland. I used to shovel the snow all the time like you guys. I don't need that shit any longer.
100%. All right, Brian, we'll talk to you a little bit later. Enjoy the games tonight. I think it's 11 games on tap, NHL, and you've got that great combo package again. Right. We'll bring it up. Early bird MLB plus NHL for one great price. So, Brian, always good to chat with you, man. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Good luck.
All right, Carm, we've got a great deal as well here. And I'll tell you what, look, we'll get Brian's out of here. There's our deal. All right. This is one of those deals here, guys. It's 3 days only. So it's not a month, not the full season long. 3 days NHL. I went 3-1 yesterday. Carmine's on a fantastic NHL run. I think it's 18-7 for me since the Olympics. We're feeling pretty good. If you guys ever want to just dip your toes in the water, this is kind of the way to go. So there's never any obligation, never any pressure. We're going to try and give you guys free picks, winning bets, plays of the day, player props. I was tweeting out picks yesterday, doing videos, but if you want our ultimate favorite picks that we give our clients, This is a pretty good deal. BOGO, buy one, get one, 3-day NHL package. Everything Carm has, everything I have at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, it's a great deal. And 17-5 to end the just before the Olympic break, and 1-1 coming out of the Olympic break. So 18-6 run right now, and just going to pick it up. I'm just going to keep on putting some units in, some plus units in clients' wallets, and then get ready for the NHL playoffs. And then once the playoffs are done, it is the World Cup and it is MLB, and I'll be focusing on the World Cup and MLB. So I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be a fun. What are we looking at? Fun spring, fun summer, and then we take a couple months off and we get ready for the new seasons at Wager Talk. Before we get to this last game, we're going to talk Minnesota and Colorado. I just want to mention Prez was on the show yesterday. He had a 4% play, and he told you guys to play it. He won his play. He got there. When he releases those 4% or higher plays, Andrew, they're normally very, very solid and winners. He has a 5% play up in the NBA. This is a hockey show, but I'm going to mention it very quickly because he is a regular guest on the show, and I do it for all the guests on the show. If they have a big play up in another sport, 5% play up in the NBA, 4-0 run with those, and 6-2 dating back to last season. So if you head over to his page, you can get that NBA play from the Prez. Andrew, Colorado did not skip a beat, did they? Yesterday, no goals in the third period of that game, I don't think. Minus 151 on the Avs, plus 124 in Minnesota. Total sits here at 6.5. How are you playing this one?
I think it's fair to say, Carmen, if we want to be a little bit contrarian, we would take Colorado a little bit here. And I know you tell me contrarian. Well, they're the favorite. What do you mean contrarian? But I think a lot of people are going to take second half of back-to-back, want to fade Colorado. One thing, though, they do have a tough schedule out of the break. You know, I was looking at it. I was talking with a few people, and they do have a tough go out of the break. Some really good teams that they are playing. So that can be a bit tough for them. But, you know, maybe it is an advantage for a team like Colorado to have a game under their belt. And it's certainly an advantage for them to have two great goaltenders. You know, not a lot of teams can talk about two goaltenders they can string out there and have confidence in. So that kind of makes me feel a bit better. But when you look at Minnesota, they do rely a lot on power play right now. Red hot power play, 40% last 10 games. But overall, I think Colorado's defense can be pretty good. Shots on goal allowed over their last 10 games before the break was just 25 shots on goal allowed. Blackwood, 962 save percentage last 3 starts. And, yesterday, Nathan McInnis didn't even play for the Colorado Avalanche. So I think if you like this game, you take the Avalanche or you take the over. I think that we're going to see some action in this game. I think Colorado's going to be able to put numbers up. Maybe Colorado team total for me. We're about to find out tonight how much of an important factor it is for these teams to have already played a game or not. How much does it benefit teams to have already had a game under their belt? And doesn't that really tell us something that we need to know, Carm, if Colorado is this price, even though they're on a back-to-back?
It's interesting. The back-to-back doesn't worry me because this is similar to, like, you know, and we discussed at the beginning of the season, when the season starts and there's like a back-to-back or there weren't a lot of them, but like 3 games in 4 nights, did those really matter? Because these guys were coming out of training camp. I actually think it's a good thing for a team that played yesterday to be playing again today. You get that game was in Utah to Colorado. Like we're not talking going East Coast to West Coast to play your second game. It's the Nate McInnis thing. It is keep an eye out on McInnis because, you know, there was discussion coming out that he wasn't 100% going into not only into the semifinal, but finals of the Olympic Games. So we'll see. Obviously, he didn't play yesterday. I would assume he's going to be in the lineup today, but I've seen no reports, and he does not show up on the injury report as I see right now. So I would think he would be back there. I think 2 games under their legs, and this is a team that were absolutely, Andrew, near impossible to beat at home. But towards the end of the as we got into February, they went on like such a terrible run at home. They lost prior to winning their final game against the Sharks 4-2. They had lost 5 of 6 games at home, losing to the Wings 2-0, losing to Philadelphia 7-3, losing to Anaheim 2-1, 7-2 to Nashville, and losing 4-3 to the Leafs. So this is a team that went 2-5 their last 7 games at home, and then went into the Olympic break. So going out of the break, they get a very good win against Utah in Utah. I would look at them. This is a big 4-point game. It is a huge 4-point game because I think Minnesota is 7 points back of them. So you want to bury the teams below you. You want to finish first in your division. You want to finish first overall, and have the easiest line in the playoffs. So with that said, it's I would lay the 151 here with Colorado. I have absolutely no problem laying that price.
Yeah, I think how much do we care about the rest and stuff? But doesn't this game have the kind of a prop feel to it too, Carm? Could be fun. I don't have any of these guys mentioned in my prop segment. I'm going to be doing some videos, but this game could be a pretty good prop game with all the elite talent out there on the ice.
There is a lot of elite talent. We'll see, Andrew. It's tough because Minnesota's had some ebbs and flows of their own as well too. They went through a terrible run, strung a bunch of games together. I think they went 8-1-1 the last 10 games prior to the break. But you go into that break, and I talked about it on yesterday's show with regards to teams or on Tuesday's show as well too. Teams like the Edmonton Oilers that won 16 games and then went into the All-Star break and came out of the All-Star break and couldn't win a game or lost 2 of their first 3 games.
Yeah,
those breaks sometimes hurt a team. Sometimes Mo leaves the building.
Yeah.
They need Mo in the building tonight, but you normally don't need an excuse to take the best team in the NHL, and that is Colorado. To take the best team at home, Colorado, and pay a price where it's only about $1.50. And I think that $1.50 price is because of the fact that we probably don't have a confirmation on whether McKinnon plays or not. So we shall see. I think if he's in there, he's obviously a huge part of the team, but they were good without him yesterday. They could easily be good without him today. So, or tonight, we shall see.
And I think that realistically, like you said, it doesn't really matter. It's a back-to-back. These guys had 22 days off, like Bryan was talking about. So looking forward to the games tonight. Looking forward to cash some tickets. As I mentioned, 3-1 day yesterday. And we are on the 18-7 run. We've got plays up at sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com. For those of you guys that did not hear, again, we will mention it. Every single day, there's now an opportunity for handicappers to have one play of their choice available for $7 at WagerTalk. The average play is up for $25 singular, but you guys can get a play right now from me in the NHL at sportsmemo.com, sm.buzz/picks. Yesterday, my play at that website, Oilers over 3.5 goals. They finished with 6. So we'll try and keep it going with that. Again, if it's all right, Carm, I'll just dive right into this bad boy.
Do it.
We've got Connor Bedard plus 180 anytime goal. Bedard back in action tonight. You know that guy wanted to be out there for Team Canada. He's well rested. He's ready to go. Connor Bedard anytime goal plus 180. We'll rock with that here. Let's take a look at Jared McCann. I think Jared McCann's going to have himself a pretty good night. He's got a pretty good matchup here as far as his position is concerned. And this price is all right for me. You know, I understand it's a little bit juicy, but they're playing the St. Louis Blues that, let's be honest, they are not the best defensive team. So Jared McCann, 1+ point, minus 145. for the Seattle Kraken. We'll take that one. And let's go to a plus money point prop here. The Detroit Red Wings. Andrew Kopp. Very, very good matchup for him. I like this bet for him against the Ottawa Senators. He has a good head-to-head matchup. His positional matchup is good. And yeah, I do like the plus 145 price. And Charlie McAvoy over 1.5 shots on goal. The Columbus Blue Jackets give up a ton of shots on goal against defensemen. McAvoy should be feeling pretty good after winning the gold medal. And he's more offensively talented than people give him credit for. He really is. So McAvoy, Kopp, Bedard, McCann. These are 4 prop bets. And I'll catch you guys around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time for a live prop show on Twitter, as I did yesterday. We cashed Dorofeyev, we cashed Gensel, we cashed Nyes, we cashed Kucherov. You guys can catch me live on X going over player props every single day. Let's keep it rocking here, Carm. What do you have going tonight, Carmen? What's your POD?
All right, so NHL, much like Brian Leonard, I will have some NHL up after the show. I wanted to see the morning skates. I wanted to find out about players, who's in, who is out, goaltending. I think it's important the first 2, 3, 4 days. I don't want to give you guys bum plays if you're buying them. Let's keep the run going, and a very good run at that. So those will be up shortly because all the news is coming out. As far as McInnis goes, yesterday was a maintenance day for him. So he is projected to be in the lineup for the Colorado Avalanche tonight. Now, we got the win yesterday with the Winnipeg Jets as part of the pod play. I'm taking a plus money play tonight. Yesterday, I talked about, Andrew, we talked about the fact that I wanted Grubauer in goal if I was going to take the under against the Dallas Stars. And it turned out that it was Joey Decord, and he didn't look good. But it is Grubauer in goal tonight. And this is a Seattle team with a lot of upside. They were playing well going into the break. They now have a game in their legs against this St. Louis team, and they are plus 115. And I can see that number dropping as well, too. I like the Seattle team. I think they can make a run to get into the playoffs. They're right there right now. So this is a team that was playing well before the break, and I expect them to play well out of the break. That was a very chippy game. I am going to take the plus 115 and watch them go into St. Louis and give them the Blues. So give me the plus 115 as your pod play.
Give them the Blues. Great stuff, Carm. Plus 115. Always keeping us guessing with the pod play. 11 games in action for tonight. Make sure you head over to Carmine's page, wt.buzz/CB. Myself, wt.buzz/AM. If you guys are buying anything in the NHL today, you already know what you should be taking a look at, though I already mentioned it. This is the package. 3 days, BOGO, buy one, get one, PuckTime crew, myself, Carmine Bianco, $59 every single play we release. You're going to get Thursday, you're going to get Friday, you're going to get Saturday. That's a lot of plays between the three of us. And knock on wood, me and Carm are really never against each other. We actually end up being on different plays quite a bit. So, Carm, if they buy this package, they're just going to get a lot of plays from the both of us. And I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday is a great opportunity. So, guys, if you've been enjoying this video, Carm and I went 58 minutes and 27 seconds. We got Wager Talk today coming up in a couple minutes here. Please, if you're still with us, we got 400 of you across YouTube and Twitter. Hit the like button, or if you're watching on X, retweet, repost this for us. We both remember who does this stuff, who comments, who likes. It really does help us out. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.